know, I'm so sorry, I have been snowed under and I'm really behind with vlogs at the moment, but I shall try and make up for it in the next couple of weeks whilst I'm study free. So today I'm going to do a 6-month catch-up, post-op, first stage, lower surgery, phalloplasty, radial arm phalloplasty using the forearm donor site. That's a mouthful to say. So I'm just going to catch up with where I am and chuck a few things in there as well. Healing wise, I'm done. At 6 months now, I feel more than ready for the next stage. Should have happened about 3 months ago, but they've got a delay on lower surgery surgeons because I have to have a hysterectomy, and the surgeon for that needs to be a specialist one. They don't have enough, there's an increase in us going through surgery, blah blah blah. So it's all a bit frustrating, but there's nothing I can do except wait. But in the meantime, it does mean that I've got myself back into really good shape and ready. In terms of how everything's healing, my arm is doing really well now. I will put some pictures up on my Tumblr blog. They will be up, I promise, next week. I'm so sorry about all this delay. So yeah, I'm really pleased with where that is now. I'm obviously not going to whip my what's it out here, but that's all healed really nicely as well now. Everything's fine. No soreness, tenderness. I've still got gradual sensation coming back. It's still very odd in that I touch my new penis and I feel it in my old equipment or in my side, because that's where they've hooked up the nerves that they harvested from the arm. So those nerves are now hooked up to my new penis, into my old equipment, and that's why I've got sensation there. That will all improve, and I'm told it improves greatly after stage 2, so I'm very optimistic there. In terms of my bum, I think that's probably my worst area really. It's all healed, it's all fine, but because of where it is, because they take graft from underneath your cheeks to put back on your arm, and in case you have not watched my videos, the reason they do that is because forearm skin is really the best skin for the new penis in terms of sensation and the amount of fat that's under it. Bum skin is not suitable, but it is however suitable to go back on your arm, so that's why they do that. So the scars have healed quite thick on my bum, as they would because you're moving around a lot. They are still a little tight and they can get a bit sort of stretchy, sore feeling at times. Not anything awful, and I'm just making sure to moisturise them. I have lost like a stone in weight since January, so my bum's probably got even smaller still, which has probably made them a bit stretched. So there you go. But at the end of the day, no one's really going to inspect my bum. As naked as I like to be, I'm probably not going to be walking around with my bum out. Probably not. Possibly not. Let's never say never, but I'm not planning it. I do have a tendency to go very purple and red first, and then go kind of silvery white. That's what happened with my top surgery. I mean, even at 8, 9, 10 months post-op, they were still quite red, and then it seemed suddenly over a 4-week period they went white. So I'm quite optimistic that they will. My bum scars will go white, and this will as well. In terms of movement of the hand, I would say I'm not a mathematician, not very good at this stuff, I'd say 90% back to normal. Everything works fine, it moves fine, the hand's fine, it's just, I know this is not 100%. It's little things like today I was trying to just kind of pull a lid, just doing that motion, and that grip in that hand isn't as strong. I've spoken a bit about the achiness I've had, and that is going, but actually I've felt with this hand, so it might just be that I'm a little bit old, I don't know. So all in all, everything is healing really well, and I'm really pleased. To try and give a bit of a synopsis, I would say, summing up phalloplasty in like short sentences, ow, that hurt. It is much more intense than I ever could have imagined. I knew this was going to be painful, I knew it was going to be hardcore, but I don't think anything prepares you for just how hardcore it is. I am very honest, so I share this very honestly, because if you're going to do this, you need to be fully prepared. However, women go through childbirth and they all say the same thing. They have this beautiful baby at the end of it and the pain really doesn't matter. That's how I feel about my penis. The pain I went through is just like a distant memory now. I have this wonderful penis, this whole body that fits, and so none of that pain really matters. But in saying that, in going through this operation, just prepare yourself for some days where you're just like, why on earth did I do this? This is never ending. The first kind of couple of weeks are the worst if you have radial arm phalloplasty, because you have the skin taken from your bum. It adds to the pain because you can't sit properly, you have to lie on your back because you need your penis propped up. You've only got one arm, so until those staples are out, you're really quite limited. And then once those staples are out at 10 days post-op, it does then start to get gradually better from there. I think it's not so much like the amount of pain, it's just the multiple areas that make it really, really very difficult to do anything. Because obviously you can't push yourself up on your arm because you've only got one arm. You can't push yourself up anyway because it hurts around your tummy where you've had everything kind of hooked up, and your bum. So it's all those multiple areas and it can get you quite down. So it's really, really important to make sure you've got some things to do, whether it's Netflix, a good book, lots of friends to come round and occupy you, whatever works. I use a lot of meditation. I tell you what, I would not get through these operations if it wasn't for meditation, because it's just a way of quietening your mind for a minute, going, okay, it hurts right now, but this will pass. And that's one of the best things I could tell myself during this surgery was, this will pass and it will be fine. And it is. People have asked me about coping at home and whether that's possible to do alone. Now I'm so grateful that I have Andrew and that he was there to help me. My heart goes out to anyone who has to do this surgery alone, that has to do any surgery alone, because it's not nice, either physically or mentally, coping with something like this on your own. However, if you do need to do it on your own, I would say try and see if there are some guys in your area, some FTM guys that you can connect with. Our community is amazing. If there are people out there, ask them to help you. I know it's difficult to swallow your pride and ask for help. I'm just as bad. And just ask for some help, whether it's just shopping or a bit of company, anything. If you've got neighbours that are friendly, ask them to give you some help as well. If you are going to do it on your own, prepare fully before the operation. Stuff like undoing jars and tubs and things like that, you're not going to be able to do it afterwards. Make sure anything you undo, you can do with one hand and your teeth. So practice beforehand, see what you can and can't do. Get yourself some food in the freezer, just make some batches up beforehand, microwave meals, whatever works. Just prepare as much beforehand, be like the Boy Scout. It's also worth seeing, if you're in the UK, we have what's called district nurses, and it's worth seeing if you can get them to come in every day or so, just to change your dressings and give you a hand with anything that you need doing, because you will find you have to change your dressings quite a lot. I had to change my bum ones every couple of days, and that must be a mammoth mission to manage on your own. So I'm sure if you are on your own that you could get the help of some local nurses and community nurses to come in and help you with that and help you with other stuff. The good news is you can manage the toilet on your own. It is much more of a mission when you've had lower surgery and you've only got one arm, but a lot of people seem to have mastered the same technique, which is you get the toilet roll, you put it in your sling, so you don't have to worry about your hand, and then you've got to hold your dick, because that's always got to be at a 45-degree angle, and then kind of hover, because you can't sit on the toilet seat because it hurts your bum staples. And you just kind of work out a way then of being able to wipe whatever you need to wipe. Showering is a different matter altogether. I found it even hard to get in and out of the bath. It's quite scary. So if you are going to be getting in and out of the bath to have your shower, make sure you've got a really, really good non-slip mat. If you are going to shower on your own, you can buy proper shower sleeves, which is like this long tube of plastic thing that goes over your whole arm, and it's got things to do up so no water goes in. Then that means while you're in the shower you can prop your dick on your arm that you're not supposed to use. It's supposed to be raised really, but if you're on your own, use that arm that you can't use to wash yourself with to put your dick on, and then you can do everything else with the other hand. So it's doable, just be very, very careful. Thinking about things I wish I knew beforehand, that I prepared more for. Be prepared to worry. Now, I don't really think of myself as that much of a worrier. I can be a bit of a stress head at times, yes, but most of the time I can take stuff that happens in my stride. But I found a lot of the time was just occupied by going, does this look right? Does that look right? Should that hang there? Should this be like that? Oh my god, it was just everything. The London team asked you to send emails and pictures of anything that concerns you, and regular updates anyway, so I was doing that, which really, really helps. Again, connect with FTM guys so you can share all these ideas and worries and concerns with other people in the community. Another thing was I made a massive mistake about having my testosterone injection just before my surgery, which was stupid. So I ended up in more pain from that than I usually did. You know, if anyone on Nubida, you sometimes get like quite a bruised butt feeling, and it can give you a bit of lower back pain. Well, I really stuffed myself over, so it was already hurting before I went in. I woke up after the operation. I mean, I was under for 10 hours. I woke up and I felt like someone had put a tennis ball in the bottom of my back, and I woke up going, "What's wrong with my back? What's wrong?" And they were trying to sort me out, and that was it. I was stuck on my back then for like 48 hours because you have to be. It was agony. So my advice is, if you're going to have your shot, do it a week, even 2 weeks beforehand, so you've not got any concerns about having a sore injection site. You don't want that when you're lying on your back. The final thing I really wish I'd planned for as well was having this sling. It was just cumbersome, and I did not know what to do with it at home at all, because it needs to be elevated. It needs to be above heart level. Your hand needs to be above heart level so that the swelling can go down. And it was really hard trying to find somewhere to hang it at home. And Drew and I made things like out of the backs of chairs, hanging it off lamps, moving furniture around so we could hang it off furniture. So I would say prepare for that beforehand. The local Red Cross usually provide kind of medical stuff for a small donation, and I'd suggest doing that. I mean, if I was going to do it again, which I'm not, I would get myself a proper kind of hanger as they have in hospital. What we did in the end was we put a bookcase next to the bed, and we got one of these super strong as nails hooks, stuck it to that, and then at night I could hang it up on that, and it was ideal. But it took us a few kind of like days to work it out, and in the meantime it was keeping me awake at night because my arm was swollen and throbbing and what have you. So sort yourself somewhere out to put your arm beforehand. I think the 3 biggest things that helped me the most, number 1 was getting a wheelchair. Neither Drew or I drive. We do have friends that can drive us around if necessary, and we get online shopping, so that wasn't an issue. But it was getting to the doctors, and even just getting out of the house. The doctors is about a 15-minute walk, but even to get to the bus stop to get a short bus ride to it was impossible. I really couldn't walk very far at all, so I would have been stuck without that. So we did go through the Red Cross, and I think we paid something like £10–15 for a month use of this wheelchair, which was ideal really, because it just meant that Drew could push me in that, which was hilarious because I had to kind of like be in this half back position, but it worked. And it could get me to the doctors and back, and it meant I could get out for a bit, and it also meant we could go out for a walk. I could get out of the wheelchair, take a few steps and get back into the chair, so I was able to go out and get exercise safely without worrying about getting myself in a state and not being able to get home. Another thing that really greatly helped, as I said earlier, was connecting with other guys who've had the type of surgery I had, just for advice and reassurance, and again to share photos and ask if things are okay. It's absolutely vital, so do have a look on Facebook. I think the biggest thing that helped, that I really recommend everyone does, is to visit your doctor before all this happens and make sure they are fully clued up as much as they can be, because the biggest problem comes in the aftercare. The London team can be very hard to get hold of. I've never had any problem with the surgeons. When I've emailed Mr. Christopher directly, he's always replied to me really quickly with any issues. You'll be advised, because you'll likely have like a little infection here and there, or a small opening of a wound here and there. Most of us do get something or another like that happen, and in those cases you'll be liaising with the London team as to what advice they give you, and then you'll take that advice to your doctor, and they'll give you a prescription for either the medication you need or the type of dressing you need, or they'll give you an appointment with a nurse there at your local doctor's to have whatever you need dressed. So make sure your doctor knows beforehand that this will be happening. It just meant that when I rang London, for example, I had a bit of an infection when I got home. I rang London and they said, okay, you need this antibiotic, ask your doctor. So it was a really strange antibiotic that they don't usually like to give because it's quite powerful. But because my doctor already had on her notes beforehand, anything that this guy rings up for, give it to him. So that's what I said on the phone. My doctor is well aware, and they were like, okay, yep, no problem. There are also some dressings that are banned, not because there's anything bad with them, but because they're quite expensive. The Metipal for your arm. And if I hadn't told my doctor beforehand, would have had great trouble getting hold of that. So she was already aware beforehand that there might be some dressings that were more expensive or that needed extra searching out. So having her well informed really helped. It made it much less stressful when I did have to go to my local doctor for some extra advice following on from what London had told me. yeah, that's a kind of really broad general update of the whole of the phalloplasty and where I am right now. If there is anything else you want to know, please do let me know. There will be some pictures on my lower surgery blog. Again, apologies, I can't say sorry enough for how late I am about everything. As usual, next week there will be my regular Thursday upload. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but it will be some kind of update catch-up business. And if there is anything you want to ask, please do drop me a message on any of the social links below, or drop me a message in the comments. I always reply, and it's really lovely to chat. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.